What is up, YouTube? That's here. Today we are back with more Pokemon VGC 2023 content made exclusively for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Today we're using another rental team. This is a Sand Squad submitted on Patreon by Cole. But before we get into that, before we actually take a look at the team they submitted, I have a question for you guys. What controllers do you guys use when you play Pokemon on Scarlet and Violet? I'm actually in the process of getting another controller. I've had this Pro controller since day one of the Switch launch back in like 2016, whenever it came out, 2016, 2017. And when I go to tournaments, I use this fight stick. I use a fight stick to play when I go to actual tournaments. And I'm going to be using the fight stick today. So if you guys are hearing the like clitter-clatter, you know, pitter-patter, that's what we're going to be using today. But I want to know, what controls do you guys use? Do you like wired, not wired, Joy-Cons? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, that's the question today. We're going to take a look at the team that was submitted here. This team, like I said, was submitted by Cole on Patreon for fixing, and they have a huge write-up, which is absolutely amazing. Like, I've already read the write-up, but basically what they're saying is they want to use Houndstone, they want to use Tyranitar, Earthworm. Their team's a lot of fun. You can actually take a look at their team right here and right here. They have like Glimmora that they really like with like Toxic Debris, Earthworm, Tyranitar, Garchomp, Toedscruel. I think this is actually a really cool Pokemon, Toedscruel, and last but not least, Houndstone, which is actually, like I've said before, my favorite new Pokemon. So I'm excited to try this team out. I think it also has good defensive coverage as well. I think this team can do well on the ladder, and it's a great team to use for team fixing, because I'm sure you guys can kind of tell some of these EV spreads need a little bit of work, some of these movesets and item choices need a little bit of work. Some of these, like there's no Earthquake on this Garchomp, that's definitely something we can take a look at, and definitely make this team just a little bit better. So we're going to go hop right into some games. Wish me luck. Here we go. Okay, Breloom. Oh man, it's been a while since I've seen Breloom. I think Toedscruel can actually do pretty good against Breloom. It can switch in to block those spores with its grass typing. And then, like, from there, you know, we can go for just a couple things after that. Let's think about this. We can also spore the Goldango. Normally, you wouldn't be able to spore Goldango, the good as gold ability, but the ability on the Toedscruel reduces the... I'll just show it to you guys. It reduces your Mons. Yeah, Mycelium Might. This Pokemon will always act more slowly, so it gives you a reduced priority on your support moves. But these moves will be unimpeded by the ability of the target, so we can still actually hit the Goldango. I'm actually going to lead with this guy. I want to see if I can make something work here. I'm going to lead Toedscruel, and I don't know if they're going to be going for, like, Garchomp or Hydreigon, but I think we can almost get... I'm going to try the Glimmora here. I think actually opening up Glimmora could be really good. Garchomp would normally be a good mon in this team, but I don't really like the set that we're using today. So we're going to open up T-Tar and try Houndstone in the very back with the last respects. That's what we're going to try for game one. And hopefully our plan is to use the Glimmora, get a couple things of the toxic spikes from the debris, go for some random stuff. I will say about the Glimmora set, if we actually take just a quick look at it, it has like Mortal Spin and a bunch of other stuff that you wouldn't normally use in VGC, but we'll see if it can work. Murkrow Arcanine, this is kind of what I expected, so we can actually pivot out if we wanted to, the Toedscruel, because they're probably going to be going for some sort of a fire attack. I would expect a Flare Blitz from that spot, so we can pivot out the Toedscruel and for the T-Tar, be able to block that up just a little bit, set that Sandstream, and then we can actually go after that same Arcanine slot with this Glimmora if we want, which I think that is a good play, because Arcanine could still go for like Wisps, it could still go for like a close combat the next turn. I think we just want to ignore the Murkrow as long as possible, because we can take that guy out whenever we feel like it, so right there. They might even be taunting with the Murkrow this turn. I wouldn't be surprised to see Tailwind. If they don't do any of these things, Glimmora might be able to outspeed the Arcanine. We have about 164 points in speed, which isn't... It's not nothing. So they either need a faster Arcanine or a Tailwind to be able to outspeed here. Tailwind's absolutely completely fine. Our team's not really built around tons of speed control yet, so I think this is okay. But what's right in that slot, as long as we're not getting burned here, I think we're in a great spot. This is also where if I was using this team, I'd be using Leftovers T-Tar, and I'd be able to kind of, you know, weave in a Protect and basically mitigate all that damage. Arcanine's going to be taking out unless it's a Berry, which it is, which means this player has, like, the right team. Like, this is exactly 100% the right squad. Let me check out this T-Tar set and see if we have Protect. But, yeah, I really wish we had Protect. That would have been great. That would have been absolutely amazing. Because we don't want to get Wisp or close combated here. So you definitely got to have that Protect in that situation. In this situation, we could weave in this to block a close combat. And that's probably the best that we have. I really don't want to weave this guy in, though. That's fine. Weave in the Houndstone. Houndstone would outspeed the Arcanine, I think. It's really hard to say. I guess we could just power gem the Murkrow in this slot. You may be thinking, why am I not going after the Arcanine? I want to see what sort of set the Arcanine has. I want to see if it has Will-O-Wisp. Even if Will-O-Wisp was here, it's not the end of the world. I think close combat's more common. Taunt in the slot's absolutely fine. We talked about that last turn. And is it Will-O-Wisp or close combat? Wisp. And it misses, right? Because we have a Bright Powder on. We have a Bright Powder on, and I wanted to talk about that. That was actually one of the reasons why I switched that Pokemon in. Murkrow getting Oko there is absolutely great. You know, Will-O-Wisp has an 85 accuracy by itself, but our Bright Powder here actually gives us just a little bit more value. And again, one thing about these teams that are submitted, like a lot of the people that submit teams don't understand the value in... They don't understand the value in Protect. Like, Protect is so important. We would have been able to easily win out this Tailwind if we had Protect, but unfortunately we don't. What do we have for the Tera choice here? Fairy Tera. I'm not going to do that. Not gonna. I mean, we could Shadow Sneak out the Arcanine and just get that guy off the board, and then we could Grass Tera Earth Power. That might do enough. We are vested. Maybe we do 2-shot. Really, really hard to tell, but there's nothing else to Tera into on this squad. So, like, I'll try it. I'll do it. Let's do it. We can even Shadow Sneak. We can even double into the Goldango slot, but I think we'll do that next turn. Shadow Sneak, Earth Power would get the KO. It's fine. Did I not Tera? Did I go back? Oh, crap, backs. I just messed this one up, I think. Shadow Sneak blocked. Good play from our opponent there, by the way. Oh, yeah, I didn't Tera. That's my fault. That's what I get for, hey, you know what? These sort of things happen when you use a different controller. Hey, good thing I don't have to eat the Make It Rain. It's okay to lose the Houndstone there. It's absolutely okay. I want to see if they take orb damage. And yes, they are. See, it's almost like I played the game. Like, I can tell these sets. I can see this stuff coming a mile away. So we just need to wear the Tailwind. This is where Protect would be absolutely amazing if we had it. We can still totally just Tera and be fine here. Toadscruel is okay. I wish we had Protect. T-Tar is okay. I wish that we had Protect. We have Flying Tera here, which is not that great. You gotta go like this. So we're gonna Tera our Toadscruel. No, not Toadscruel. We're gonna Tera the Glimmora. To Grass Tera. Just gonna click the Rock Slide. Lose a T-Tar. Like, Protect here would be absolutely amazing. And click that Tera. Just so we don't die, right? Yeah. Oof. Okay. This Arcanine is a big deal. But we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. This person's playing pretty well, by the way. They have a very, very good team. I wonder if the last one on their team is Hydreigon. We took out Murkrow. And let's see. They shouldn't be Flare Blitzing Glimmora. We are vested. Like, we can soak the damage here very, very well. Wisp into the T-Tar slot. That's fine. Like, T-Tar is not important. This is why I also personally like a little bit of Taunt. Thunder Wave T-Tar for speed control. You'll be able to weave in those protects, weave in that speed control. Really, really good on teams like this. Make It Rain's fine. T-Tar's going to go down. Like, they did all that work into the T-Tar slot for not that much investment. And we need to get this thing off the board. I know it sounds like I'm really overstaying my welcome going after this thing, but it's really, really important to get the Goldango off the board. We might be able to outspeed the Arcanine just because it's a support set, and this is their last turn Tailwind, so like we might be able to come in. And if they want to go for like a Flare Blitz on one of these guys, they're going to get KO'd by the recoil. So like basically what we're going to try and do here is force their Arcanine into... Actually, we're also going to see like they might get ticked up by this last turn Sandstorm, but like we'll see what they want to do. Yeah, Tailwind peters out. And here we go, Toadscruel. Toadscruel has a higher base speed than Arcanine. They don't know that, but like we could follow me here, make their Arcanine have to hit the Toadscruel. Can't follow me away with Breloom. That is dicey. Okay, good thing we have 2 Grassmons though. Last turn Sandstorm, so the Arcanine won't chip out. What is the moveset on our Glimmora again? Energy Ball, which is not it. It's Giga Drain, right? It's Giga Drain. Ah, that's really, really bad versus Breloom. Can't Spore it either. Very, very unfortunate game, I would say. We're going to double into the Breloom. Oh, it is Energy Ball. Oh, that's really bad. I mean... Oh, hits both. I didn't know Mortal Spin hit both. Let's do this then. I didn't know Mortal Spin hit both. That's something I learned in doubles. Huh. Mach Punch is absolutely fine. That's not good at all. That's the worst play of the day today. But like, we'll see what they want to do. Flare Blitz into the Tentacruel. We could have protected this if we had the actual... Oh, they get the burn. Unlucky. Like, this is where Protect would have been really, really good on the Toadscroll, but it's okay. Arcanine's going to tick out. It sucks they burned us, but I don't think it's the end of the world. And Mortal Spin. Decent damage. Very, very just decent. We want the Poison because it's probably Technician, and then we want to like play just a little bit longer game. There's a Giga Drain. Again, it's not doing that much. We just don't have any other moves that can actually do anything in this situation. We get a little bit more health back with our Energy Root, but like this is another situation where leftovers would still be more valuable. So they're ticking out. This is where if we had like a double protect, we would definitely be double protecting. So showing the value of protect yet again. We might be able to get this. Again, there's no way Rage Powder would work here, so we just go for another Giga Drain. And like realistically, you know, this is an 80, this is a 90 stab. This is obviously weaker, but we need the poison. So we're just gonna go for the energy ball here. It's just 10 base power stronger, lower the spit F stat. So like, let's say for example, they don't Mach Punch or something. I wonder if they're gonna try and play around me protecting, because what they should just be doing here is just Mach Punching the Glimmora, I think, but we'll see. Able to Mach Punch the Toadscroll. Yeah. It's probably going to be an L for us just because like we don't have Protect. Like this is how important Protect is. You need Protect to be able to wait out things like Tailwinds. You need Protect to actually be able to use Poison and things like that to be able to have your win conditions. But we'll see. Maybe they have like a really, really bad set or something. Like it sucks that we got burned because we're actually getting a good amount of health from this back. And like we would realistically be at about 70 health right now. If we live through this turn, we'd be fine. But imagine if like we had double protect. So last turn, if we went double protect, this turn happens, they take the poison chip in between all this stuff, or the sandstorm chips that we've been doing all game, and then we would protect right here with Toadscroll and they'd be ticked out. So let's see if they're like going for like something really, really bad. You know, we're good. We will get the win if they don't KO us. Mach Punch? Yeah, we get KO'd. So it does happen. Unfortunately, we got burned, but again, there's nothing we could really do in that situation, and it just really, really goes to show the value of Protect in these situations. Okay, Arcanine Dozo. All right, with Annihilate. I think in this situation, you can still kind of go like Toadscroll again. Being able to sport things is nice. We have Grass Tera to be able to block like Wave Crash or anything weird from Dozo. If we can get the Spore up there, we can actually get some wins. I think Glimmora is also very, very good. If you can actually just set the poison on the Dozo before they actually bring it out, if they wanted to bring Dozo out in the later game. Glimmora is great. It also like low-key that threatens Sylveon, so that's good. I think you have to bring T-Tar, and I think you have to bring Houndstone. So it's the same one that we brought in the last game, but we're going to try our best to adapt them to this situation. We can also weave out one of our mons for a Houndstone if we're really afraid of like a final Gambit from the Annihilate. So let's see how this goes. I'm not super confident about the Dozo matchup. We have no Haze. We have very limited plays if they want to go Grass Tera Dozo. And a lot of our mons, like our Toadscroll set, for example, if we wanted to use Toadscroll here and go for, like, let's say they Grass Tera, we, like, can't even hit the dang thing. Because, like, Earth Power's resisted, Giga Drain's resisted, it's unaffected by Rage Powder. It makes Toadscroll, like, really, really, really hard to use. And now we have Meowscarada. So they're probably going to go Final Gambit plus something with Meowscarada. I would say, realistically, they'd be going after the Glimmora slot. I'd go after Glimmora with that. And then there's nothing to really do. Like, we can Spore here. It's not good. Like, I guess we could just Rage Powder away. We'll just Rage Powder away the Final Gambit. And go for... Again, these are all okay moves, but they're not amazing. We're going to go for just the Power Gem into that slot. So we should be able to Rage Powder away the Annihilate. Oh! Protect. Very uncommon to see Protect, so I was definitely expecting a Final Gambit set. Rage Powder here, we can't Rage Powder away the Meowscarada, but I was planning on Rage Powder away the Final Gambit, which isn't even happening. So Flower Trick's fine. Doesn't matter to me who they're really hitting. Oh, huh, that's surprising. I guess they were just targeting that. They might just lose this Mon, like realistically, 100%, like absolutely fine. Okay, so next turn that thing's probably going down. So the problem with this Toadscroll is it's fast, but it's not that fast. We're actually going to Giga Drain into the Annihilate slot. And I know it seems weird to like go into that thing, but I think we're going to Mortal Spin and do that. Because we'd finish up the Meowscarada with Mortal Spin. Okay, it's fine. And I don't really care what this Annihilate does. We might even outspeed it with the Toadscroll depending on how bulky they are. We have like 12 points in speed. Yeah, unlucky. But they don't get the KO, which is great. So that's one layer of Toxic Debris, which is absolutely amazing. We're actually going to restore a lot of health with our Toad Scroll as well, so it's very, very good. We have Big Group, we have Giga Drain, good stuff, like big poisons, what we like to see. And he's going to start doing big damage with, what is it, with Rage Fist, but like, we'll figure it out. Look at this health, look at this, easy. So another thing about this Toad Scroll set, let's just talk about it. We started like 30 HP there. If we take a look at this Toad Scroll, you know, instead of like a Leftovers, you have a Big Root, which is gives a 1.3 more HP from like Giga Drains and things like that. But realistically, because you don't have the special attack investment, you're actually not restoring that much. So you're getting a 1.3 on like a really, really low number. To be completely honest, something like Leftovers would just give you way more value in this exact situation. And speaking of this exact situation, I think what we're going to do is pivot out Glimmora for T-Tar and go for just a Giga Drain into the Meowscarada slot. And the reason we're doing it like this is because we want to speed up that Annihilate. We want to speed up the Annihilate getting ticked out from both the debris and the Sandstorm. This will also make it so the Meowscarada will, I think, get KO'd after Life Orb damage and chip. So Fire Trick and T-Tar, it's completely fine if they KO T-Tar. Like, it really does not matter. Because remember, we also want to open up room for something like Houndstone just come in and sweep. That's kind of our goal here. And we could not have went for redirection with Rage Powder there because they are a grass type. So again, absolutely fine. Now it goes for a Drain Punch. Unfortunate Drain Punch. I did not expect Drain Punch plus Brick Break on a set that had Protect. Like maybe if it was vested, but I didn't expect both those. So it's very surprising to see both of those. But it's not the end of the world. And so now we can redirect that thing. I wonder if the last two ones they have are Dozo or if it's more of a Sylveon. Either way, we're going to be bringing in the Glimmora back out. And then we can just go redirect and hit the Sylveon or something. But I think we're going to do okay. We're going to do okay. This Rage Fist is going to do a big damage. Glimmora, we want to get all these mons KO'd so we can actually come out with Houndstone and just go pop, pop. There's the Dozo Bozo. Good to see it. Awesome. So let's think about what we want to do here. I wouldn't be surprised to see them pivot in Tatsu and go for Earthquake. I wouldn't be surprised. And in that case, there's nothing that we really need to be doing with these mons. Like, there's nothing that we actually even can do with these mons. We might as well just go for, like, Energy Ball and do it. We could even Energy Ball out the Annihilate slot. Let's try that. Maybe the Dozo will, like, Protect for a turn. Which are Annihilate, so it doesn't really matter. I'm assuming that they're going Grass Tera, because, like, why else wouldn't they? But, you know, let's see. There are advantages using Houndstone here. We still have the Bright Powder active. Like, we're still doing okay. There's the Commander. We could have doubled on the Dozo, but I didn't want to ignore the Annihilate. Like, if Dozo just popped to Protect for one turn and the Annihilate, like, went out, like, we would have been really bad. Been in a really bad spot. So, I don't think this is terrible. But let's see the boost. Again, this would work like a Haze user, or like a Taunt user, or even something else would be really nice. We're still outspeeding there, which is crazy. Are they avalanching me? No, they are earthquaking. There wasn't anything I could do about that, realistically. Even a Giga Drain there wouldn't have, like, done anything. Everything's already poisoned, so it doesn't matter that the second layer of debris goes up. But now it's time for Houndstone. It is Houndstone time once again. And if Houndstone can win the game, like, we do be taking those. I just don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know. It'd be cool if we can get that Tatsu to go down. Like, maybe we avoid, like, 6 turns of stuff with, they have lefties there, too. I guess a crit would go through the buffs. And Last Respects is big in this situation. Like, it's big busted. But you see, like, the match roulette involved, like, with Dozo, Tatsu, and Annihilate teams. Like, there's too much to cover for how extended we are. We have no protects. We have no pressure turn 1. Like, it's very hard to play the game at the right tempo. So, again, we have this Last Respects. It gets bigger and bigger every single time. We're just going to go for it. Let's see what we got. Survey says Last Respects. So crit with KO. Oh, we got the crit though! Yo! Play to our outs. 100%, yo. 100%. So let's think about this. We should probably be checking the Annihilate, I would say, who's already shown Protect. And so this is where I'm looking at it weird. I think what we're going to do is we're going to Tera Fairy to block a Draco Meteor. And we are going to... No. Yeah, we have to. We have to respect Annihilate. Like, I don't want to, but we do have to do that, I think. And this is my last turn Sandstorm, right? 2 turns. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Yeah, we have to Tera Fairy to block the Draco. And if we let that Annihilate hit us, we'll die. That's like the thing. We have Shadow Sneak for Tatsu as well if you need it. Survey says. Just gotta not get KO'd by Tatsu. It can't Draco us this turn. It can still Muddy Water. Still Hydro Pump. But let's see. Fairy Houndstone popping things off out here. Survey says. Save the respects for last. Tatsu protects. Yes, please. Even if this is a double protect turn, we're just going to know where the protects are, so we just go after them. This is completely fine. So next turn, yes, you have the power of Hydro, but like I'll just be able to last respects your Annihilate, run out of Sandstorm turns, and then just Shadow Sneak out your Tatsu and win the game. So that seems like it's an okay play. Like that's like having that sort of protect looks cool on paper, but like they're the ones taking all the damage here. So yeah, we just go for the last respects again. Big damage. Big damage over time. I can't believe we're gonna win this one. Realistically, I cannot. Yep. We just go for the last respects. And they have to like crit a Hydro Pump and hit us through the 80% plus Bright Powder. So it's like they might go for a double protect with Annihilate and try and like weave in 2 moves with Tatsu. That's probably their best play. But there's not that much they can realistically do about it. And I can't wait to actually get into the team fixing part of this because I think this team can actually be really good. Yeah, they just soak the damage, go down. Awesome. Remember, this is last respects gains 50 base power for every single KO'd teammate, so it's huge. You're gonna go for the Hydro, Muddy Water. So you're going for the Accuracy drops. Nah, you're gonna miss. Remember, we got that Bright Powder, baby. That's 2 games in a row. And they're probably thinking, like, we're so good. Like, we outspeed them. But I have Shadow Sneak. And this is one of the cool things about, like, setting up the win condition like this. It was just really nice. And let's get that win up. They can't go for protects. They can't do anything, like, because they're taken out from the Toxic. So there's a really patient way to play this one. And we did have to get lucky, but, like, we'll take those wins all the way to the bank. Like, we'll definitely validate ourselves, take those wins, play to our outs, and, yeah. Let's go take a look at the team fixing part. Because there's a lot of things this team does right, and there's a lot of small things that we can change to give this team the ability to play just a little bit longer game in a wider variety of situations that, once we expand upon, hopefully will be seen as some pretty good fixes. So let's hop in. All right, so I'm still really surprised that we won that last game. Like, shoutouts to Houndstone, definite MVP, definitely deserving of my favorite new Pokemon. Houndstone's great, T-Tar's great. The Earthworm falls short in this team. It shares weakness with a lot of mons. It's way too passive. It loses the taunt. It loses the like forms of speed control. It loses the fake out. Like Earthworm, it does definitely need to be changed for this team. Toadscroll can be good, but it also shares a 4x weakness to ice with Garchomp, and Garchomp itself needs to be completely retooled because a Life Orb Garchomp set with Bulldoze, first of all, can hit your own teammates because you don't protect on any of them, but like it also, you need that EQ. Like the point of the Life Orb is actually dealing damage, so we're going to definitely need to add the EQ. I understand the ability to go like Garchomp T-Tar on this team, and one of the reasons why we never went Garchomp T-Tar on this team is because it would lose to Fake Out, it would lose to different Tera types, it would lose to Prankster Tailwind. Like there's so many things that just dumpster like Garchomp T-Tar. You saw it in both games. I brought T-Tar in the back, activated that speed control, and tried to use it to maybe wait out opponents after letting Grimora's like toxic debris go up. So that's what we're going to do. We're also going to try and keep the Glimmora, but what we're going to do is tweak a bunch of these EVs. Again, the team submitted is right here, so we can see a lot of these spreads need a lot of work. Again, one last time before we actually get into it, this is the type chart, and so what we're going to be doing is definitely taking away the Earthworm. I think the Earthworm, it's a really cool mon, but I feel like it's the one thing that's falling short. So if we take out the Earthworm, we're going to have the ability to potentially add something with Flying. I think actually having Flying was going to basically cover up for the fact that we're losing that Earth Eater and the ability to switch in on ground attacks, which this team has a lot of weaknesses to ground attacks on things like Glimmora and T-Tar. So adding a Flyer here could be really good. I would say, obviously, the answer I always say in this situation is Murkrow, but if you don't want to go Murkrow, we're going to pick something that might be able to function a little bit differently. I also think if you really want to keep Toadscroll, it's fine. Let's take a look at their submission post one more time and see if there's any mons that they're really 100% serious about keeping. So, let's see. They really liked the Earthworm, but you can't do it. You can't do it. They say, I've fallen victim to story mode only syndrome, where I always find myself leaning towards an all offensive, hardly any strat approach. They talk about Shed Tail, but like again, Shed Tail is really, really hard to use in VGC, and it's not really rewarded. Just because like in singles, if you set up a Shed Tail, cool, they're gonna have to use their 1 mon to break it, and it takes 2 turns to break a Shed Tail and actually have pressure. But in VGC, especially if you're not running Protects, they can just double into that slot, and then you just lose your Shed Tail that you put all this time and energy into getting up, and like it was very, very suboptimal to get it up in the first place. You probably lost a teammate in doing so, so it's just not that great. You hardly use Shadow Sneak on Houndstone, but that's like the good thing about it. It helps you check Goldangos and stuff like that. So let's see, what do we want to add? You know, let's just start fixing this team, and then we'll add them on at the end that we might need to cover up for some specific matchups. So let's go back and take a look at this Houndstone. If you really want to keep this set, I like this. I like this because like Fairy makes this thing really, really good at checking like Garchomp. I think it's like really, really cool. Like you can check other Garchomps, which would normally give your T-Tar a hard time. Normally you can hit a lot of things. You can get Hydreigons. Like there's a lot of good stuff to hit with this, but I would definitely take the Bright Powder off. Bright Powder is not that great. It's more of a meme item, and if you're gonna use Bright Powder or anything, you're probably gonna use it on your Garchomp with your Sandveil. So I think that like a Life Orb would be a much better option in this situation. It also makes your Last Respects and Shadow Sneaks hit a lot harder. And the last thing you want to do is Ally Switch is really cool, but everyone knows that this thing gets Ally Switch. There's not that many Ally Switch users in the meta, so I would definitely just go Protect here. Protect is just going to be great, and it's perfect. And another thing you want to do about this set is you actually, unfortunately, do need to go with a plus Speed Nature, just so you're not getting Speed Tied by other Houndstones, and there's a lot of really fast mons in the meta. A 68 is kind of low, even though it gets doubled by Sandrush. I still think you need to go with the Jolly. That's just my opinion, but it's really unfortunate to lose speed ties to things that have super effective moves against themselves. This is a better safe than sorry type thing. The fact that a Life Orb's going to cover up for that a lot and make it so you're still hitting a lot harder than you were before. So that's what I would do in this situation. Toadscroll. This thing definitely can be tweaked a lot. I like Leftovers here. That's just my opinion, and realistically, I know a mon that would do a better job on this team than Toadscroll. Let's just compare. Let's put Toadscroll over here. Let's put Toadscroll like right here. And so we're using Toadscroll as a Pokemon with a 4 times weakness to Ice that can go for sleep-inducing moves with Redirection. Do you know another 4 times weak to Ice mon that can use sleep-inducing moves, has access to Redirection and a bunch of other useful, actual good moves? It's going to be Jumpluff. Like Jumpluff. Also, Jumpluff, by the way, can get Chlorophyll, which makes it so if your opponent's using Sun, you actually can lead this against Sun and get the Chlorophyll boost to be able to outspeed and mess with their Sun users, or the mons that they're using to abuse Sun. So like Jumpluff would be a much better variant to Toadscroll. Also, Jumpluff being a flying type, it comes with like built-in fighting resistance, so you actually pair it with T-Tar very, very well. Like, I love Jumpluff. I think Jumpluff is a very, very good mon here. It can also be paired with Garchomp, who's going to be using this big EQ, so think about using this Jumpluff. Hopefully it works. Like, if we actually take a look and go change some of this, let's take the Toadscroll out, which I think Toadscroll is really cool. I just feel like the way this one was being run was not really that optimal. So there's the Jumpluff right here. Bam. And you can see we're actually getting better defensive typing the more we fill this out. I think the last mon that we're going to want to add on this team, believe it or not, and also that's a flying mon, because we were talking about adding those, is just going to be Lycanroc. Like, we're already using Sand. We can just use Lycanroc. And remember, we're going to be using the Sand Rush Lycanroc, midday form. So this is going to make it so we have big weaknesses to Water and big weaknesses to Steel. We have weaknesses to Steel here, 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 and yeah, that's basically it. And then we have weaknesses to Water on those same 3. And that's where like the Grass Tera Glimmora actually comes in hot. So like imagine you take away that Water weakness, you take away that Steel weakness, you take away a ground weakness right there. So that's where I would say it works. Also, like mons that can switch in on Steel attacks, you don't have any, and that really, really sucks. But, you know, we can use different Tera options to deal with that. I think that, like, this is probably the best way. Like, again, you can just redirect those, lose them on, and then trade the thing that's using the Steel attack. If they're using a Steel attack, they're probably going to be weak to, like, close combats from Lycanroc, damage from T-Tar, Earthquakes from Garchomp. So if you redirect or put them to sleep, you should be fine. You could also even think about putting Will-O-Wisp on Houndstone to be able to Will-O-Wisp those Steel attackers and stuff like that. That's also an option that I like to use as well. So add the Lycanroc here. Alright, so let's talk about like what moves we want to keep on these mons. Assault Vest is cool here. I wish you had access to Protect. I really, really would like to see the Protect. Mortal Spin was cool. I don't think you need it. Earth Power is nice. I don't think you need it. It's good for Steel mons, but we're going to talk about that. I think let's talk about moves we know we want to keep. I think you should keep Sludge. We should put Sludge Bomb on it. There we go. Sludge Bomb is actually really nice because this is what this team uses to check fairies. So like Sylveon is a big problem for this team, and Sludge Bomb helps us solve that. Power Gem is there for things like Arcanine and other flying types like Talonflame and Murkrow. Still got to keep that Power Gem. I would put Protect on this thing realistically, and then you can put the Energy Ball here. And I want to see if it gets Giga Drained, because Giga Drain's better. Yeah, it doesn't get it. Energy Ball. So, right there. I would do something like this for this mon. As far as your EVs go, I don't think this is a bad EV spread. It splits up the stats pretty well. It hits a good enough speed tier. I don't exactly know what this is outspeeding because you don't have any +1 calcs involved, but it looks like it would outspeed like Gyarados maybe. And so it looks like a good set. I don't think there's anything really wrong with it, so we can actually just keep that. But we want to take this off, and probably I think we still want to run the lefties on the T-Tar. So like, what item would go really, really well in this situation? You could put an air balloon here. I don't think there's a problem with an air balloon. There's like 3 or 4 different cool things you can do with air balloons and basically weave in the protects, use it as bait. I don't think there's anything wrong with an air balloon. You could also even go like an Adrenaline Orb, so when they weave with the Arcanine, they intimidate you and they waste it, and then you get a +1 speed boost to be able to just immediately repin it with a Power Gem. That's definitely an option. Let's see, we'll just leave it blank for now. We'll just absolutely leave it blank. I don't think there's a reason to do anything specific. You don't need to sash this thing right now, and that's fine. I think the T-Tar, though, does not need Clear Amulet. T-Tar does not need to be a full sweeper in these sort of teams. Like, leftovers are going to make this guy a lot better. If you want to run an aggressive T-Tar, we can make you an aggressive T-Tar, but I realistically think you're better off going lefties. Actually, you know what? Let's do it like this. Let's do this. Let's help you out here. Let's go lefties here, and I'll show you an aggressive T-Tar. Because I've shown the taunt Thunderwave T-Tar like 10 times, and I feel like we can just do a different one. We're going to put a Choice Scarf on this guy, and we're going to be really, really aggressive, and if we ever pair with Garchomp, we just go Flying Tera. It's because you already have the Scarf set. The last thing you would really realistically need to do is, again, I still think there's value in going with the plus speed nature in this situation. If we plug a T-Tar into a damage calculator, Tyranitar, you can see what we actually outspeed at +1, so let's give ourselves a 252. And so see what we outspeed, and so I want you to see that outspeed's base 100, so let's plug in like a Salamence. If I can spell. Outspeed Salamence by like, it should be like 2 points. Set everything to level 50. And give the Salamence like a 252 Jolly set. If we can actually select the stuff. It's because we're like 167. So we outspeed that by 2 points. So we're speed creeping things at speed creep base 100 by 1 points. So you can also make this Jolly T-Tar if you want. It's completely up to you. And go to 186, and this will let you outspeed base 110s and 111s. So the reason why you would want something like this is like there's a lot of Pokemon like Gengar, for example, is a 110. This would be outspeeding Gengar. Lycanrocs, if you weighted out the sand and stuff like that, you'd be outspeeding Lycanrocs. And there's also things like Floatzel at 115, and this speed creeps things that speed creep those by even a couple more points. So I like the Jolly. I think that this is similar to the Houndstone. Better safe than sorry Jolly in this situation. But this is a good set. I think it's absolutely fine. You have the Terra Blast, got the Rock Slides Crunch, aggressive set, 2v2 squads are up, absolutely fine. Garchomp though, let's see, you definitely got to make this that EQ. Like EQ, it's all about EQ on Garchomp. And then as far as like what you're doing here, I understand going to 189 to make it so you take less damage from Life Orb. If that's fine with you, absolutely fine. Keep this thing. I think the Life Orb is better here, so like what I would do here is put this thing into a Bright Powder here. But you can totally keep your own set and use like a different item on the Houndstone if you want. I don't think there's a single problem with 2v2 squadding it up. I like putting my last 4 into defense realistically, just because I feel like the Garchomp mirror match is, good enough. And you can actually eat the Dragon Claw from a lot of sets. So like I like this. This is my favorite set to use with T-Tar, with the Sand Veil and the Bright Powder doing double the work. Very, very good stuff. This set was still okay. This set here, we want to add, I think Protect is still good. We don't know if we don't want Protect yet. We want Rage Powder. We want Sleep Powder. And there's 2 or 3 other cool moves. I like the Encore here. Some people like Helping Hand here. Some people like Leech Seed here. There's nothing wrong with Leech Seed here, by the way. Some people like the Pollen Puff here. I think Pollen Puff's a really, really cool move because you can use it to boost your teammates' health and stuff like that. You can also even think about using Strength Sap here to be able to basically like intimidate things. You can also think about going like a Terra Blast, a U-Turn, Synthesis. There's so many good moves here. I think what we're going to do for this set today is just put Leech Seed here. And the reason we're going to Leech Seed, we're going to put a Wide Lens here to make it so we're boosting the accuracy of our Sleep Powder and Leech Seed by just a little bit. And it makes our jump up just kind of sit on the board, set up the sleeps, set up the redirections, and it's a good partner for a lot of these mons. So it's just a cool set. And again, the way that you build this jump up is basically just like this. There's nothing too spectacular you want to do, just a full timid set. And I really like Jump Up in this set. Like I plan on making a lot of Jump Up content pretty soon. And it's definitely a mon that I've been excited to use for a while. So Jump Up's pretty cool. It also pivots very well in to cover for T-Tar and cover for a bunch of other mons on this team. Lycanroc, you've seen this use this set before. Going to be Sashes up. We're going to be Sand Rush. Got to still have that Protect. And note that like a lot of our mons, Protect, Protect, Protect. This is a Scarf. This has Protect. This does have Protect still too, so Protect there too. So like Protect's really, really important. Being able to use the sand to your advantage and deal the dot damage to your opponent over time. I still like the Endeavor here. I think Endeavor's still really good. You Sash Clocked, and then you can Endeavor things like Dozo down to 1 and finish them off with your teammates. And then from there, Close Combat for the Sand Mirrors, and other Lycanroc Mirrors, and just a Rock Slide. Cool beans. And then again, you have to be Jolly. Like, it's better safe than sorry Jolly. And you don't want to put the last 4 in HP because you want to be able to do more damage with Endeavor if they don't clock your Sash. So pretty cool set. And hopefully it works. There we go. So we're going to go play some games with it, and hopefully these changes actually come into play and give us wins where we normally would not have had them with the team that was submitted before. So let's hop into it. Okay, so let's actually take a look at this Goldango, Murkrow. Like Murkrow, Goldango, Hydreigon, Garchomp, super, super standard with a little bit of like Mouse and Annihilate. Like very, very good stuff. I think this is a situation where Sand can be really, really good. I think I would lead T-Tar here and try and be a bully. So if they want to lead Murkrow, they can only Tailwind with 1, right? And so if they lead Murkrow, Goldango, and we lead with 2 things that like really pin the Goldango, like an Earthquake and Garchomp and a Tera Flying Crunching T-Tar, that's going to be sad for that guy. And if they want to lead Hydreigon into that, it doesn't really work too well versus these two. Plus, we have things like Lycanroc and Houndstone in the back. So I'm going to try this. I think Houndstone can still be a very, very good mon in this situation. Shadow Sneak does a lot of damage to things like Annihilate, a lot of damage to things like Goldango. And you don't always need to go for Last Respects, but if you save the Last Respects as well, you can just one-shot those Garchomps at the late game. So I think this is fine. And this is also another thing is they want to lead like Garchomp, for example. We put ourselves full speed as well, full attack. So like we are the bullies in this exact situation. I think in this exact situation, the right play would be to go for Terastallize, just so we can not get EQ'd in the face. You could Rock Slide here. I think Rock Slide would maybe KO the Murkrow. But like Rock Slide Dragon Claw would definitely kill the Garchomp, and we could actually flinch out their Garchomp in this situation. So we're going to try it. This forces Tailwind from Murkrow, by the way. If they're not Tailwinding, if they're going for like a foul play, and they're going to go double up into us, like this would be fine. And if they're like Sucker Punching or something, there's a Tailwind, it's fine. So we're not going to be able to get the, we're not going to be able to get the Rock Slide flinch, but like we should be able to get big damage on the Murkrow, and put the Garchomp at enough of a range to be able to get killed by a Dragon Claw. Almost. That's a very, very, very bulky Garchomp. And these things happen. It should be okay here. We can just Protect with our Garchomp, Rock Slide, get a double KO here. This is the value of Protect. The value of Protect. Rock Slide probably doesn't KO that Garchomp. We haven't seen it attack yet. Actually, we have. Sorry, we have. It doesn't have... Oh, is it banded? Foul play to the T-Tar slot. Ow. And their Garchomp's going down next turn. And so, also, I want to note that like we're waiting for their Tailwind to come out. We're bobbing and weaving. We want to wait out that Tailwind, bring in that Houndstone, let both these guys go down, and then fire off those humongous Last Respects. Hydreigon is a bit of a problem here. I don't think it's the end of the world. They can also miss into our Garchomp slot because we have Bright Powder plus Sand Veil right now. So like even if they Tera, they still could miss. And also if they're firing off Dracos, that also is like not 100% accuracy move. It's a 90% accuracy, so they can miss that too. So let's see. Can we get just a little bit lucky? Just a little bit. They have 2 turns left on their Tailwind. We can also just Shadow Sneak that thing with Houndstone if we have to. So like we're actually still in a pretty decent spot, I would say. We still have Lycanroc. Lycanroc actually would outspeed the Hydreigon. So if they go Tera Steel, Lycanroc comes out and pins. If they go Tera Poison, Lycanroc can go for Rock Slides, Endeavor Techs, and things like that. Like I still think we're in a good enough spot here. And it's hard. Like I get it. Like playing against these dynamic speed control teams that have like turn 1 priority Tailwind Murkrow, like it gets pretty hard to deal with. I'm thinking that might be a Tera Fire Hydreigon. Just judging by like the amount of oh they missed value. They go for the Rock Slide. They don't care the T-Tar. They crit my Garchomp, and oh, did we miss their Garchomp? That's really, really bad. That's super, super bad that we missed their Garchomp. So he's not banded. It's probably like a clear body set. T-Tar ticks out. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, T-Tar ticks out from the Sandstorm. We would outspeed here with Rock Slide because like they get a +2, but we also have a +2. We're gonna come with a Lycanroc. Right? Because you want to be able to Rock Slide their Goldango in the back. And then set up for Houndstone to be just like a 1... Yep, there's a Goldango. Awesome. So we can also flinch that guy out too. So we just go for Rock Slide here. And, I mean, realistically, Rock Slide would KO the Garchomp. And I think you just double into that. You don't want to Earthquake your own Lycanroc. Like, you don't want to do that. So we're not going to Earthquake our own Lycanroc. I think they're going to Flying Tera their Goldango, realistically, and maybe even protect their Garchomp. That's what I would do in this situation if I was them. And note that my sand control goes 1 turn longer than their Tailwind. So, like, they shouldn't be protecting. If they do, it'd be a slow loss, I think, to protect here in this situation. But let's see what they want to do. Man, like about Garchomp, like, match made in heaven, like, best friends. These guys are so good. Houndstone in the back, too. Like, I wonder. Yeah, fine. Steal. Wow. So that means we can just close combat that guy. We missed on their Garchomp again! Dude, that's actually really. That's probably going to lose. That loses us the game, actually. Yeah, that's fine. Like, we're probably going to lose because of that. Oh my gosh, that sucks. What do we do here? That's 2 Rock Slide misses on the Garchomp. I mean, they might have a... No, we know they have Rough Skin. We just have to win a speed tie here. Yeah, we don't have to win a speed tie. Actually, we're fine. If they protect here, I still think we win, because then next turn we just Shadow Sneak it. So we got it. We should be able to get this. So let's see what they do here. Protect? Are you Scarfed? Nope. Dunzo. Doesn't matter that we EQ ourselves, I don't think. Unless we crit? Yeah, crit wouldn't even have done it. And then from here we just Shadow Sneak. Yeah, they scooped it up. Cool, got it. Easy. Easy peasy. Not really. Like, that was actually a really hard one. We missed 2 Rock Slides on a Mon that was at 5%. So, but again, these sort of games where your opponent has like the dynamic turn 1 speed control, what you want to do is like let them have their Murkrow and like really solidify putting pressure on the Mon that's its teammate and make it so it's really hard. Even if you, let's say we got the KO here, we want to have a board that really puts pressure on anything that would come out. Note that like even after we KO'd the Murkrow the next turn and they had like Garchomp plus Hydreigon, they were still like thinking to themselves like, oh, my Garchomp's low, this Hydreigon, should I tear it, should I not tear it, like what do I do? And it forced them to overcommit, miss a Dark Pulse, and it let us play the game more at the tempo that we wanted. So, you know, again, this was a really hard matchup, but it's not unwinnable, it's just kind of hard. All right, I have no idea what this is, but that team screams I'm very weak to Glimmora, so we're definitely going to lead Glimmora here. We can go for Energy Balls and a Slowbro, we can go for Power Gems and an Arcanine, Dragonite, Gyarados, we can go for Energy Balls into the Dugtrio. Like, this is a good lead. This is good for us. So Glimmora is going to be great here. I think we even get away with going like Glimmora Jumpluff. I kind of like this a lot because you can just redirect a lot of those Mons or single target Mons, so you can put things to sleep. So this shows the value of this lead, and then from there we want to bring in the Garchomp. I don't even think we need T-Tar. I think just bringing your Sashmon in this situation is probably the right play. So we're not even bringing Sand, which basically turns off a lot of what our team wants to do, but I think Sand's going to be a slow loss in this matchup. Like, T-Tar can get really bullied. Even though we're using a Scarf T-Tar, it can get bullied by things like Gyarados and Arcanine. So they have an Intimidate lead. We're not falling for it. I think this is fine. We just go Rage Powder and Power Gem, right? Like, easy. We don't even need to put things to sleep. Like, we can just go super, super passive. We could try and sleep one of those, but we don't know if they have like safety goggles or Lumberries. And so I think in this sort of situations, it's probably just safer to go Rage Powder and have them double into our Jumpluff. They can totally go for like Dragon Dances and stuff like that. I don't think that's a big deal. Ground. Okay, go nuts. There's that. Are you EQing me? Are you really going to EQ me turn 1? Tailwind Dragonite. Wow. And you're not EQing. So they're probably going to EQ this turn, which is where we go Protect. Like, oh, it's just so nice. It's just so nice, right? And then you just go for a Sleep Powder. You can Sleep Powder. I mean, we have Tera Grass on this, so we actually just can block the EQ. Like, we can just Tera Grass, Earthquake, or Energy Powder, Energy Ball KO, and just Sleep Powder this Dragonite. Like, easy peasy. Dragonite can still have a Lum. Dragonite can still have safety goggles, but like in that sort of situation, this is just the right play. So let's see what they want to do. This Gyarados shouldn't be able to mess with us. Like, I think they want to Earthquake. That's why they have the ground there. So, like, let's see what they want to do. They might even be over-respecting Jumpluff, who has so much board control right now. It's ridiculous. They're fast on that Gyarados, so let's see what they do. Dragon Dance again, bro! That's not going to work. Encore! Okay, that makes sense. I didn't even know that Dragonite got Encore in this game. I had, like, absolutely no idea that he got Encore in this game. That's, like, super busted, by the way. People should be using that. That's crazy good. We can pivot. We're not sashed here, but like, I'll Power Gem this Dragonite, and I'll Power Gem Dragonite, and I think I'm actually gonna Leech Seed because it's 99% actually thanks to our move, and then we just go for like Weave and a Protect here and there. They can try and KO this guy, doesn't matter. It doesn't get the KO because we're a Water type. They're trying to flinch us. Oh, and they're orbed. Cool, they're just like dead then. Cool. And so you can go for any attacks you want there. Power Gem will finish off the Dragonite this turn, weave in a Protect. You should get ticked out after 2 turns, and we're good to go. Nice. You see the jump off Glimmora making plays for days out here. Power Gem Dragonite goes down. That was multi-scale. I cannot believe I didn't know that thing got Encore. Like, it's never had Encore before. That's super, super weird. Like, that's crazy. Like, I really, really want to use that. All right, so our Encore's over. We can go for Energy Balls into that slot now. And we can even Sleep Powder. We can even Rage Powder. I don't think we're going to need to do any of those, though. I think we're just going to Sleep Powder the Slowbro. Gyarados takes out. Like, it sucks we get KO'd there. It's not the end of the world. They're going to take out this turn. Or next turn, I guess. Let's see what they're going to do. Iron Defense. They were a special attacker. So, right there. Gyarados takes out. Whatever we send in here is going to be the recipient of the Leech Seed. I'm going to go Garchomp. They both have Protect. Doesn't matter. And that Slowbro can recover. Don't really care. We can totally just go for an Energy Ball. Be able to finish that guy off. And then what do they have in the back? Arcanine's not that big of a deal. Persian could be a big deal. It could definitely be a big deal. Dugtra's not a big deal. Yeah, we're fine. Man, I'm still thinking of that Encore. That's so sick. Let's see. Is it gonna? I don't even know what it's gonna do yet. Waterfall, not gonna work today. Body Press, that ain't it, Chief. So we're gonna be absolutely fine. Gyarados goes down. We should be able to kill the Slowbro with an Energy Ball. And like, let's say for some reason, here's the Dugtrio. This is totally fine. Energy Ball's fine here. And we can just go for a Dragon Claw into the Dugtrio slot. It's going to be able to break Sash, and it might actually KO it, depending on their set. Hell, they could still just miss another move. We have Sandvale. So, like, I think this is actually a really, really cool team. Like, you can see how much more patient you can play it. Analyze the game at your own tempo. Use a little bit of redirection. Use good defensive typing. Weave in those protects to get your opponent to reveal their tech first, and then punish them for revealing their tech early. Like, it's so good. Like, I think also in that situation where they had to show their Encore Dragon and do all that stuff, we just patiently said, like, well, you still can't do anything. Like, I don't have to switch. I don't have to do anything weird. And instead of having to, like, miss Sleep Powders or, you know, do anything like that, we just safely put up the Leech Seed, 99% accurate, and we just played the game at our own tempo. And in this situation, the only thing they can really do here is, like, protect Slowbro, get a Leftovers tick, and Fisher our Glimmora. I don't think that's going to happen, but if they have it, like, props. Let's see it. Rock Slide. I guess they can flinch us out too. That's probably a more normal situation. Yeah, we just one-shot it like Dugtrio's a bit of a glass cannon. They do get the flinch. They do get the body press, but on the wrong target. It didn't really matter what target they have because, like, I basically win the game with either of these, but now we just win here. They probably thought we were going to protect the Glimmora, and then they scoop it up. So that is the team. Guys, if you have teams you want to submit, we are still accepting submissions. I'm trying to do 2 or 3 a day, but I do like the changes that we made to this team. I think the Glimmora, the EV spread was fine. We just made it a little bit more defensive, and we can weave in those leftovers and use Protect to our advantage here. T-Tar's a lot more aggressive. Great partner for Garchomp, great partner for Lycanroc now. You get that big Scarf, and just an overall very, very good mon. You can even think about checking out this Crunch for something like Assurance if you wanted, but I like Crunch on these aggressive Scarf sets. Garchomp is made to better be suited inside of the Sandstorm with like Bright Powder and Sandvale playing to its strengths. Houndstone is basically kept the same, but we just made ourselves a Jolly Nature, give it an Orb, which is a little bit more aggressive item than the defensive item. Again, when you play these Pokemon like T-Tar, if we're going to play an aggressive T-Tar, we're going to make it aggressive. We don't need to have like a defensive item like a Clear Amulet, right? Houndstone, if we're going to be playing aggressive, we're going to play aggressive. We don't need a defensive item like a Bright Powder. We need to double down on our strengths, our aggressive tendencies, and use a Life Orb. Just pretty standard stuff. Double down on the things that you're good at and just blow your opponent out of the game. Jump Up, I really like this set. I think it goes very, very well in this team. You can start pairing with the T-Tar. You can pair it with Houndstone, Garchomp, Glimmora. Very, very underrated mon. Start using some Jump Up in your own games. And last but not least, Lycanroc is a secondary Samrush user that we can pair to secure KOs in the late game. Great Sash mon, and this is a little bit of our Dozo check. So hopefully you guys like these changes. Again, if you have any teams you want to submit or you want to check out any of my own rental teams that I'll go up on my Patreon, I've been making posts every single day this month. There are a ton of teams on there that also aren't on the YouTube. Like, there's a ton of teams. I've been posting teams every day for both singles and doubles. So if you want to see some cool stuff that I haven't really shown off in like rental code form yet in YouTube videos, think about checking out the Patreon. Even the lowest tier is a huge, huge, huge help for me. January is always a really, really slow month for things on YouTube and Twitch for streamers. So any support on Patreon really helps me out a lot. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Peace out, and I'll see you guys next time.